The emotional cycle, dealing with stress and anxiety. And anxiety is an addicted to routines and patterns. It likes repetition. It is a disorder of routines. So when anxiety is planning how to totally control your life, it will follow certain orders, routines, and rituals. To help us, we need to identify and understand these patterns. So what is the emotional cycle? The emotional cycle, also known as the fear or distress cycle, is the 5 steps to developing any anxiety-related disorder. Step 1. This step is all about your life experiences. It involves your entire life situations, both negative and positive. It also involves your concerns and fears about the future. Everything that you've been through in your life forms your life experiences. These life experiences can then create negative emotions such as fear, anger, guilt, hurt, and sadness. Most anxieties do result from repressed negative emotions caused by unpleasant life changes such as illness, accidents, divorce, death, abuse, and even the loss of a job. Most often, it can be the little experiences you overlook that can hold you in this cycle. Step 2. Your patterns of thoughts. 70% of what happens to us which causes anxiety-related disorders happens in childhood or teenage years. It happened at a time when your mental capacity and emotional intellect were not formed enough to positively process and rationalize your ordeals. These negative interpretations, when dwelled on long enough, will then filter down to the subconscious mind. These then become your belief system and will begin to rule your life. Your belief system shapes your entire life and is called your mindset. These thought patterns are now your worrying, habitual, negative ways of thinking, such as I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, I'm a bad parent, it's all my fault, I'm unlovable. If not corrected, then these thoughts start to control your everyday thinking and will then lead on to step 3, which is all about your feelings. After your life experiences made you think in a certain way, the next thing to happen is a feeling is created. It is now that we start to feel our thoughts, such as feeling nervous, feeling scared, feeling depressed, feeling anxious, or feeling panicky. We are emotional beings driven by our emotions. So when emotion is added to our thoughts, then feelings are created. So after we have had an event in our lives which has caused us to habitually think negatively and affect the way we feel, we then start to feel physical symptoms. This is step 4. Physical manifestation are often physical interpretations of your mindset and feelings. Your symptoms of anxiety are being sustained and grown by the ingrained mindset and feelings about your anxiety. Once your mindset and feelings are dealt with and transformed, the physical symptoms really have no foundation to remain in your life. So instead of anxiety and panic, you could start to experience calm, happiness, and confidence. Symptoms vary from person to person, which may include nausea, heart palpitations, sweating, shortness of breath, faintness, IBS, panic attacks. Put all together, and this begins to have an overall detrimental effect on your life, which leads to step 5, avoidance behaviours. In order for your anxiety to thrive, it will want you to engage in activities to hold you. These activities are what we call avoidance behaviours. It wants you to see things around and within as potentially dangerous to your well-being, so that you will avoid them. An avoidance behaviour is a way of coping. It involves changing your behaviour to try to avoid thinking or feeling things that are uncomfortable. In other words, avoidance coping involves trying to avoid stresses rather than dealing with them. These escape behaviours may reduce your anxiety for a time, but in reality they actually fuel the anxiety, so it continues to control you. The escape behaviours include eating disorders, social withdrawal, repression, age regression when we revert back to teenage tantrums, alcoholism, drug abuse, or even denial. This then leads to the whole emotional cycle starting again. So let's do a quick recap. Step 1. Our life experiences. Any life experience that generates a negative emotion such as fear, anger, hurt, or even sadness. Step 2. Our patterns of thought. The worrying, habitual negative thinking, like I'm not worthy, it's all my fault, I'm not good enough, leading to step 3, your feelings. Feelings of nervousness, feeling ashamed, depressed, scared, anxious, or even feeling panicky, leading to step 4, our physical symptoms, such as nausea, sweating, panic attacks, IBS, heart palpitations, having shortness of breath, faintness, or even panic attacks that develop our avoidance behaviours of step 5, like eating disorders, being in denial, age regression, drug abuse, social withdrawal, alcoholism, and repression. If left untreated, then you risk the repeating the whole cycle again, creating more unwanted thoughts, more unwanted feelings, and more unphysical symptoms. Your pattern of thinking, both consciously and subconsciously, is important to determine whether or not you will win your battle against anxiety-related disorders. The good news is that your mindset can be transformed and reprogrammed. If you would like help in reframing your way of thinking, then please get in touch at www.rainbowzentherapies.co.uk or email at rainbowzentherapies@yahoo.co.uk.